Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Mindful Making live video here at the Knitathon in November 2024. I can see the chat that you say hi, so that means you can both see and hear me. Thank you so much. And I see there are a lot of Danes there already. You may want to say where you're watching from. Um, if you are Danish, of course, what I find interesting is that Danes say what city they are calling from, and if it's let's say from Australia, they say Australia. I just found it so amusing. But very warm, very welcome to you all. Here in Sydney, it is Sunday, the 17th of November, and it's 8 o'clock in the morning. Sun is out, it's beautiful. The cicadas are um, screeching outside. You may be able to hear that. I've kept the door open so you can get a bit of the natural sounds as well, hopefully. Oh, from Florida, late Saturday afternoon. Yes, I am so sorry. In my head, I could manage Europe and Australia. North America, States, and Canada was just a bit too tricky for me. So late afternoon on Saturday. Oh, it's lovely. Oh, look at you. I'm so happy that you are here. And as I normally do, I would, as per tradition in Australia, I would like to acknowledge that this video that I'm sending from the traditional lands of the Darug and Guringai people, and I pay my respects to their elders past, present, and emerging, and extend that acknowledgement and respect to the traditional people of the country that you're on. And this greeting reminds us of the people that came before us. Here in Australia, there is a proud history of 65,000 years of continuing culture, and we wish to honor that. Thank you, everyone. Time difference is tricky. Yes, it is tricky with the time difference, Pia. And I also want to start with just saying thank you, Pia, for organizing the Knitathon once again. It's a great event, and just I can just imagine us all sitting in our couches around the world, or maybe outside. Here in Australia, maybe not in the States and in Denmark. Um, and just knitting away and chatting to each other, and just being entertained throughout 24 hours. I am also just to say that I have my phone here, so if I look down, it is to a better way if I can monitor the chat as it's going. I really wanted to do this live because I love this interaction where I can respond to some comments when I see them. If I don't, ask them again, or a question or a comment. If you watch this later, I think I have enabled the chat so you can just follow along as well to see what is happening, because that is what I really love about lives. And Germany, Trine, yes, that's lovely to have you here. Honestly, I won't be knitting that much in these 24 hours. Basically, what you see behind me is the only thing that is somewhat intact or as is or as per usual here in my apartment, because the removalist comes on Wednesday. So the 20th of November, I've just been busy packing or decluttering and trying to sell stuff. And I'm just saying that it's a bit of a cowboy land, out there selling things on marketplace and stuff. Yeah, it's taken up a lot of brain power, energy, but I'm good. I'm good. Everything is on plan. I might talk about that a bit later, but let's just start as per usual to what I'm wearing. And today I thought I would wear the Gumnut tee, which is a pattern I released probably 2 years ago now. I can't remember, to be honest. It is knitted in the round, starting at the neckline and just sort of a round yoke construction. And the gum nuts are slip stitch patterns throughout. And here I have decided to make them a sort of fading color, where the contrast color is up here. It's 2 strands of super soft in the colorway cinnamon. And then I added in, I changed 1 strand. So it's here in these middle ones. It's 1 strand of the cinnamon super soft, and then a titicaca in the crown. And then here it is 2 strands of crown titicaca. So it just gives a nice little fade. But I've seen it in many versions, and you could go completely rainbow or contrasty colors. Also, tonal is beautiful. I've seen that as well. If I try to stand up, and my daughter said, well, beware not to show any skin, and I will try not to. So it's sort of a hip length. It's not that long, and then I've repeated the slip stitches at the hem and also around the sleeves. Thank you, Cozy Knitting Corner. It is I love this tee. I deliberately made the neckline slightly wide because I just like a bit of room around my neck up here. The main yarn in this version is a merino bamboo blend. And now I'm about to say botanically dyed. So it's basically just leaves. I don't know whether it's leaves, but it's naturally dyed from some Australian plants. And it is dyed by Carola Down Under. She doesn't dye so much anymore, but it just have these beautiful, subtle speckles throughout. Oh, I should do it here. Oh, thank you, Knit Pearl Repeat. I love my Gumnut tea. Gets lots of compliments. So those goes to you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, if we move on then to 2 other, well, not 2 other, but to finished objects, as we normally do in podcasts. But before I do that, I will just have a sip of warm coffee while it's still warm. It is morning. So if you saw my last mindful making episode, you would, and possibly also on Instagram, if you follow mindful making there, I have released 2 new patterns. It's all happening. There's nothing like a deadline. So I released 2 new patterns, and you will see a different version now of the Janan shawl in these colors. A stunning green and a sort of creamy sandy, and then this gorgeous everything color mixed together colorway. And this was actually the first version that I knitted of the Janan shawl. It is worked in a 100% alpaca yarn from black wattle yarns, which is a local, I would say, producer and for sure dyer here in Australia, so close to Canberra. And you know, again, the drape is just beautiful in this shawl and in this yarn, knitted on a 4mm needle. And in this shawl, I wanted the colors to shine. I also wanted to play with texture. So I'll try to show you again here. You know, it's just knit and purl in a sequence. And then I have faded, it's not faded, but the connections between colors is just through these stripes in a varying sequence frequency along the shawl. In the centerpiece, it has these daisy stitches in. Of course, in here you cannot see them as clearly because it is a busy yarn, but I still think it is very pretty here. So any I'm about to say any fingering weight yarn will work for this, and just a very nice size to wear as a shawl or wear as a scarf or as a shawl. As you see, the green, that colorway here, does become quite prominent when you wear it like this. So maybe you have that beautiful skein, single skein that you would like to use for something, and you know, pair it with other colors and let it sit here as I think it is the main color. No, yes it is. So the main color. So the Janan shawl. Janan is a place here in Australia. It's unprepared. I'm about to say Blue Mountain, but it's not. It is. There are Janan caves, which are beautiful, and really a place to visit if you come or are in the proximity. It's about 3 hours drive from Sydney. If any Australians here know more, help me out in the chat and just maybe put in a link to the Janan caves. So it's a beautiful place, and I thought Janan, it's a nice name, Janan. So this is the Janan shawl. It is available on the Mindful Making website and on Ravelry. Yeah, the Janan shawl. Another little thing that has been sitting as an almost finished design for a while, but just published on the 15th, which was just Friday. My sense of time is completely out of whack. It is a cowl, and it's called the Helia cowl. And this is also a different version from the one that you would have seen on Instagram and on the pattern. But here you can see an example where I have introduced a contrast color just for the first couple of rounds on the cowl. This is worked in 2 strands of coast held together with 1 strand of Titicaca. So initially I thought, oh, maybe this is too far from each other, but I actually like that mild effect out here. And it probably sort of lightens that dark area a bit. The Helia name comes from these double moss stitches that runs down. Oh, the camera is not mirrored, so it's very difficult for me to point. But anyway, here you see that these moss stitches just run down diagonally on the cowl, and it sort of resembled that helix structure. So and then I thought, oh, I'll call it Helia. So this is the Helia cowl. Wearing it, well, it could be worn just like a long necklace, or just a bit of collar, or twist it around like this. You can put it as you want it. On the pattern, it's just knitted in a one color. But here you can see that, you know, adding in that contrast color around at the edges just gives a, you know, you can play around how those appear when you style it and wear it. And one also said that you could put one on top of your head. You could, like this. And just have air, or you could have your ponytail out here. Yeah, so this is the Helia cowl. It's a DK weight, worked on a 5.5 as far as I remember. It's a super quick project. It's knit in the round, super easy to memorize. It's just double moss. So a gift idea for the coming holiday season. It calls for 2 skeins of DK weight. To get this width, you don't need the full 2 skeins, but you do break into the second skein. If you want it wider, you can just you know, knit it till you don't have any yarn left. So you can make it as wide as you wish, and what yarn you have. But this combination of the so this is the Coast powder. Let's see if it will focus. If I put it here, maybe. 2 strands of powder, and then Titicaca in the écru, and the edge here is Conca. 2 strands of that, and then the écru as well. Yeah, like it, like it, like it, like it. That is also available on mindfulmaking.com.au and on Ravelry. So moth stitch in Danish is called, so they're called moss. So they're called, what are they called? I'm blanking. I am blanking. Double moss stitch. What is it called again, Danes? Perlestrik. Yes, yes, yes. Perlestrik. Thank you, the playful knitter. It's called double perlestrik. Yes, yes, yes. Perlestrik. So directly translated, pearl knit. Pearl knit as in a pearl knit. I love these lives where we could just throw things out, and then you all respond. Isn't that amazing? Thank you. Thank you so much. So what I am knitting on at the moment is a gift for my youngest child. I find it, you know, now that they have turned 25, 22, and 19. So what do you then, what do you call them? They are still children, but they are young adults as well. But this is for Asger, my youngest. He's 19. He wanted a gray jumper. and he wanted a 3/4 zip. So here we are. I'll just arrange it slightly so you can see it. So this is a double collar. So it's folded down and ready for the zip, raglan. And then he wanted some color work around the chest. And now I'm at the ribbing, just started the ribbing. The pattern is the Zipper Light, and it's by Petite Knit. Knitted on a 4mm needle, US 6. So I've just followed the instructions for, just the main body of the sweater. And then I found this color work in a free pattern, one of Drop's patterns, which is called Starry Sky, and inserted that with adding 3 shades of, or 2 shades of gray, and then a creamy white here in the middle. Yeah, I hope it is long enough. And then 8 centimeters of ribbing, not the funniest thing of all, but it will be done. I work the color work on a 4.5mm needle, just to allow a bit more space for it, and for it not to pull, which it usually does not do for me, but yeah, it's just a more relaxed knitting when you just know that it can just, the floats can just float. The floats can just float. Am I here? Yes. So I'm looking very much forward to finish this. I don't think I will have yarn enough though. So I would have to order some more. The body is knitted in a combination of an old cotton wool from Gumnut that I had sitting here. Actually, this one. Very convenient, sitting here. And it is color 0052. This is many years old, so I wouldn't know whether they had that. I think they still have the cotton wool, and likely they would have a dark gray. 50 cotton, 50 wool. So that's one strand, and then I hold it with not the right one. I hold it with this. That's difficult to see. That's difficult to see. Here we go. Which is a super soft, and it's called graphite. It do not want to focus. Deep gray, and just have a bit of a blue undertone to it. And these two held together. I'm running out of the graphite, so I'll have to order some. I am knitting size medium for him. It is quite generous in size, I think. So yeah, I hope that will fit, and it will be ready to be wrapped and put under the Christmas tree. A nice thing about this design is that it's, I don't know whether you can see that, but it's prepared for that thing you put under the zip. So the zip will, so you have 5 live stitches up here that you will pick up and knit down, and then you would add the zipper in between those 2 layers. Yeah, wish me luck. But with patience, it will work. I am actually thinking of knitting my older son, Anders, a similar design. So a brother, two brother sweaters. It won't be done for Christmas though. Yeah, Zipper Light and Starry Sky from Drops, and I just use this color work here. Yeah, that is what I am working on when I have a bit of time knitting. Then, if you saw the last video, and may some have guessed that I am in a bit of change of life. So after 12 years in Australia, I've decided to move home to my birth country, back to Denmark. I've probably been contemplating that for a while, since a divorce last year. And I went home for Christmas last year, and it was just, it's hard to explain, but it's just that everything settled in me. So there's nothing like home. And then I was thinking back and forth, but then I think the universe just sends me some very clear signals that it's time to go. So I've been living here in this apartment for a year on a rental agreement, and the lease wasn't extended, so I had to move anyway. And then I thought, so I got that message back in late August. And then I thought, okay, universe, you've spoken, go, because I would need to move anyway. And yeah. And then 2 weeks later, a restructure was announced at work with my role in play as well. So basically, I'm out of work by 30th of January as well. There are options to reapply, and so that is actually happening right now, but a lot of change work-wise as well. So it's all pointing in one direction. So I am selling everything as much as I can, not this that sits behind me. So the thing is that in the container that will arrive on Wednesday, it will just be boxes with just basically my yarn and my fabrics, and a bit of kitchen thing stuff, picture books, computer screens, work things. That's it. So now it is on, and then we are going to a pre-planned holiday in New Zealand, the 24th of November, with Astrid and Asger, my two kids living here. So that is planned out. We will visit Hobbiton, and we will visit the North Island. So I'm looking so much forward to that holiday, relax. And well, that's on Sunday. That's next week. It's next week. So I just have this week of work and moving. And then I'm off for 10 days, and then I'm back at work for 5 days. And then lift off 12th of December. It's a bit full on, so no wonder that I lose track of time. And there's nothing like a deadline. So I thought I wanted to have those designs out or earlier in the week, not last week. It was just on Friday, because that is a collaboration with Skein Sisters, which is a yarn shop here in Sydney. Yeah, so I can see that a few comments come in. Yes, thank you for welcoming me back home. Yeah, the universe spoke very, very clearly. And when I got that message that day about the lease not being extended, I was like, oh, what is happening? And then I went for a walk, and then I started laughing because I had also thought, okay, I need to minimalize, and I want to, live more minimally and not have the things that sparks joy or the most important things. And then I just laughed out loud because what better? Well, now the universe as well says, okay, it's time um, to outlive that dream of a more minimal life. Thank you so much, Danes, for welcoming me back home. I'm looking forward to connecting with you back home. The first opportunity is at Kaffekilden in Roskilde on Sunday, the 15th of December. Pia, Tina, Hverdagsbo, and me will be there for a knit chat gathering. So if you are around, or if you want to drive over and join us, it will be lovely to see you. A bit of pre-Christmas celebrations. Oh, thank you, Barbara. She said, wonderful holiday with my children and safe travels home. Thank you so much, Barbara. Yeah, Helia, downsizing for sure. Or maybe upsizing as well, because who knows where I'll be living. I haven't decided that yet. But I will need, first of all, I will need a job somewhere. I do need an income. And then I'll find a place to live. First, I would just couch surf at my brother's in Allerød, in close to Copenhagen. And then I have some dear friends in Aalborg as well, which they have also offered me to stay there for a while. So I'll just be in my suitcases for some time. I would love to see you in Roskilde, those of you who can make it. Then if you have, I thought I would just open the floor for any, questions you might want to ask. Comments, because as you can see, I'm just following on the chat here on my phone. Which area of work, Pernille, am I in? Well, actually, it's a bit hard to say because I'm a bit of a jack of all trades. But I am, my education is as a pharmacist, and I worked with clinical trials in the pharmaceutical industry for 15 years before moving out here. And the thing is about workplaces and work culture is that they want local experience. And I came with global experience here to Australia, couldn't get into the industry. But I have worked as a project manager for these 12 years, first in an organization doing professional learning for GPs, so general practitioners, a sort of online learning, and now the last 4 years working in the Department of Education, running a project which is about grammar and teaching teachers to teach kids to write correctly. I'm not the expert in English grammar, of course, but I am the project manager for that. So I can do project management. I can do change management. I'm a certified change manager as well. So organizational change or process work. That is an option. I love presenting. I love teaching. I love facilitating workshops. So change and organizational process is certainly a space that I do love, and I've worked with that in the past. And then there are, knitting as well, knitting shops or yarn companies. And I will continue designing. I will continue putting out the podcasts. I will continue in English. Some have asked whether I will continue in English. Yes, I will. Whether there will be an additional Danish version, I don't know yet. I won't promise, but it is an option. What is your favorite fiber to work with? Chromatic Creations. My favorite fiber to work with, it is an honest wool. And I say honest wool, and no offense, merino is lovely to work with, and that is an honest wool as well. But I do like so the North European wool as well, that has a bit of grip to it. I love the characteristics of woolen spun. Is that correct? Woolen spun is this, where you have a bit of air in the wool. It's just the way it regulates temperature. It's amazing. So that is my favorite yarn to work with. And because it's just the natural, that is what the sheeps, are wearing. And it's been we've had it for generations. That is my favorite fiber. Yeah. We are 37 minutes. What I thought, and if you have any questions, just keep them coming. But what I thought I wanted to share was some of the things that I've loved about living in Australia. First, well, the most obvious thing is that it's blue skies and sun 9 months a year. So the weather for sure is something that I will miss, and especially that you have that. Now I say high sky, but it's just that you have high ceiling. You just have blue, the blue sky, beautiful clouds. So I will miss that. I will not miss the 40 something degrees summer days. It does get hot. It does get hot. Spring, winter, autumn are beautiful. Spring in particular is amazing. It's amazing. So I will miss that. And I will also, one of the things that I've noted here is very much a can-do attitude, and inviting people in and being very interested in what you bring and your story. And I know that Australia is a country of immigrants, so they are very used to, it's a nation, a country that is built up of so many nationalities. And what I experienced during the first 3 months we were here, it was all about settling and just, the kids started at school, and women work. A lot of women here in this neighborhood or this area where we landed did not work, or only worked school hours. So they were there in the schoolyard, dropping off kids, and there again picking them up. And I got to talk to some of the mothers there, and they were just, oh, what is that for an interesting accent? Where are you from? And what are your plans? And oh, so lovely to talk to you, and say more. And so actually in that schoolyard, some of my good friendships were made, and book club ladies that I see every month. So that is just a thing. And Australians smile when they speak. And what does that mean? It's just, it has that inviting positivity. And this is not to say that doesn't happen anywhere else. I think Australians with their sort of laid back outdoor living is just very open, humorous, mateship. So those are some of the things that I will miss. And then, and also, what I found interesting when arriving here was that there are so many ways to live our lives, and it just becomes very obvious coming here. And I think especially Denmark is a small country, and our lives look very much the same. So just arriving here, where there was this parallel life of women who didn't work, was a revelation for me. Is that even possible? Yeah, so those are some of the things that that I will miss, and probably also strive to look for and to sort of channel if I can. And then looking forward to do in Denmark. So I'm just having a few notes here. So I look forward to speaking my language. And if you meet me back in Denmark, you will probably some English words will be interjected into the Danish language in the beginning, and as there are Danish words slipping in to when I speak English, especially when I'm tired, and sometimes at work I say a sentence in Danish and they just look at me, and I don't understand why they don't understand what I just said. But yeah, so I look forward to speaking my language. Of course, we've been speaking Danish at home, a Danish family, and I have a lot of very good Danish friends here as well. And that is some things that I will miss as well. Living here are the amazing friends that I've made. But also, I know that I can do it again. I can make good friends again, and I already have back in Denmark. So I'm looking forward to that. And then Christmas and winter. Christmas on its own, not mixed up in summer holidays where you just have here in Australia, it's the main holiday. So it's summer holidays, schools end of school year. You have Christmas, Boxing Day, everything is packed. You go camping or you're on your summer vacation, and the kids have these 6 weeks off. So I look forward to just enjoy Christmas and also December, which is then, you clear everything and just prepare for Christmas during December. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to go back into gymnastics. So that is what I've done for 40 years. It's deep in my bones. It doesn't exist the same way in Australia. And gymnastics is a very Danish thing, where you basically, for those who don't know, it's a group dancing, physical exercise to music, a group choreography, and then you have a performance, a festival, typically in March, April, where you perform or show what you've been practicing on throughout winter. And it's just music, and it's happy people, and it's just there's no competition, and you just clap along to the music. So and the movements, and I'm looking so much forward to going back there. I think I will also be disappointed of my own body's abilities. I still think that I'm 25, but not when I have to, get off the floor. I'm just looking here. Yes, knit, purl, repeat. The Australian attitude made our 4-week family trip an extra enjoyable. Yes. And laid backness. That's coded into the Australian DNA. I do think that Danes and Australians are not too dissimilar. in that sense. Danes are also pretty laid back. Some would say, and I would say as well. Okay, so and then I would, of course, also looking forward to be surrounded by knitting and yarn everywhere in Denmark. Um, Here in Australia, it is. I've met an amazing group of friends, knitters here. There are knitters, but it's not as I'm about to say developed. It's not as pronounced and widespread and ingrained in people as it is back home. So I'm looking forward to that as well. So we are approaching 8:46, or we are at 8:46 in the morning. Thank you so much for joining in to this live. I hope you've had fun. I hope you've enjoyed a bit of knitting with me, and thank you for all your comments and engagement in the chat. It's been wonderful. I actually feel that I'm just sitting next to you. So I really enjoy this format of going live. The next YouTuber podcast that you can go watch at the next top of the hour is by Breuer, Breuer. I believe that session is in English as well. If it isn't, and you are an English-speaking viewer, you will practice your Danish. But I do believe it is in English. So that is where you head to next. Thank you so much for everything, and for joining this live. Thank you, Pia, for putting it on yet again. I am looking forward to watching the episodes when I get a bit more downtime with my knitting. When I log off here, I will change out of my YouTube clothes, potterware, and then go packing and carrying things away. So thank you so much for tuning in, and enjoy the rest of the Knitathon, and enjoy your projects, and I hope to see you soon. Bye, everyone.